So it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. Things have gotten busy, life gets in the way. Lots going on here in the shop, in the store. I've been expanding, adding new products, new lines, and been very busy with that. And I've been wanting to do some more YouTube videos and just haven't found the time, haven't found a topic to talk about. So I thought, um, it's the middle of June. People are starting to think about fall and archery season and getting ready for your hunts. Maybe picking out a bow, picking out arrows, broadheads, whatever that might be. And at least that's on my mind. And so thought maybe it'd be a good time to talk about what I'm using for my hunting setup this year. This is, if you watched some of my videos in the past, last fall I did a 3-part series on a build I did of a Bowtech CP30, which is a great bow. And I've moved on from that bow. Nothing wrong with that bow at all, but I wanted something with a little bit longer axle to axle. And that CP30 was great. I loved the smoothness of the draw, the compactness of it for hunting was great. It had a 6 3/4 inch brace height. It gave me plenty of speed for what I needed, and it worked really well. But since then, I've had an Elite Ethos. I've got this shortly after they were released back in November, December of 2023. It's now June of 2024. So we're looking at a good 6 months of use on this bow, of shooting it almost every day. Every day that I had an opportunity to shoot, I've shot this bow. And I always say it's the most boring bow that I've ever owned. The reason I say that is because everything has worked flawlessly. It tuned very easily from the start. Um, I put the pin where I want it to go, and most of the time the arrow just goes there. It's effortless, it's easy, and the strings have held up perfectly. I mean, everything about this bow so far has been phenomenal. So very happy with it. Nothing wrong with the Bowtech, but I was really liking the longer axle to axle. And I've even considered picking up a Bowtech Core SR, which is a 33-inch bow. I really like that bow. It's a speed bow, has a 6-inch brace height, but it draws very smooth on comfort, and has some of their new technology and new features that I really like. So that's kind of caught my eye. I've also become a prime dealer here in the last month or so. And so the RVX 34 is something I've been staring down as well. And unfortunately, I did not draw the Colorado elk archery tag that I had put in for, and so hopefully maybe next year. I do have an application in Idaho, so we'll see if that pans out. But if not, I'm just going to stick with one bow for this year. If I was going out of state, I would pick up another bow and make sure that I have 2 setups ready to go, because you never know when something happens. I see that all the time, and it works great for me because I have customers that come to Kansas to hunt from out of state. They drop their bow out of a tree stand, or they dry fire it, or they shoot and their limb or their cam hits something as they're shooting and causes their bow to have problems. And they come to me either to get it fixed, or they've got to buy another bow to continue the hunt. They put enough money into the trip, into the tag, and whatever it might be, that they purchase another bow for me and I get it set up and I keep them going. So I've seen that happen enough. I know that if I'm going out of state, I'm going to bring 2 bows with me. And um, but anyway, so I'm not hating on Bowtech. I still love them. They make great bows. I just wanted something a little bit longer. And so this is my Elite Ethos, 33-inch axle to axle, 6 3/4 inch on the brace height. It is the slate gray color, and it's probably hard to see on the video, but I really like it. I'm kind of a solid color guy. I really like the solid colors. I like the look of the Elite bows, the cutouts in the riser, the shape, the feel. Um, there's nothing about this bow that I've been able to find that I don't like. There's some things that other bows do that Elite hasn't done, such as the Picatinny mount for the sight. I think would be a great addition, and the dovetail or the core mount for the rest would be nice. I'm using I'll go through all of this, everything I've got on here, but I'm using a Hamskea Epsilon rest. I really like it because of how tight it sits to the bow. You can see that it doesn't stick out a lot. If you have the core mount, it's going to sit even tighter. You won't have this bracket coming out the side. It'll just mount into the back of the riser. And I really like how that works. I wish all these bow manufacturers would just come together and come up with one solution. I think Picatinny is probably the best solution for a sight mount. It just makes sense, and it's going to shave some weight off of your sight as well. The IMS from QAD is good, but Hamskea is using their own system. Either one of those works fine. The thing I don't like about the Hamskea is it takes 2 more screws to mount to your riser versus anything with an IMS. I had a ripcord on my CP30 that was an IMS mount, and that worked great as well. Right, clamps right to the back side of the riser, and you don't have an extra bracket and 2 extra screws. So hopefully one of these days everyone comes together and they get that figured out, and we don't have all these different mounting systems that we're going through right now. But that's what we're dealing with. But I went back to the limb-driven rest. No particular reason. The ripcord is working great. I liked the full containment of the cable-driven, but I wanted my arrow rest as tight to the bow as I could get it. Mostly for hunting, mostly to bring the weight of my quiver in so that I didn't have to run a back bar or something like that. So what I've done, and so far so good, I'm using a 15-inch Bee Stinger micro hex counter slide. I have 2 ounces on the front, I have 3 ounces on the back, and the bow holds very well with this. You can see I've got the ethos has a mount down here. Not all the way down. My Bowtech had the mount clear down here towards the bottom. The Prime has that as well. The Elite is in a really good spot. It's kind of lined up with this little short dampener that they've got on here, and it just puts this sidebar, this counter slide, in a great spot. So that's worked really well. I'm still using this is a Black Gold Ascent Mountain Light 3-pin. But I went to a dovetail. This is a bridge lock compatible dovetail, so if you're shooting a Matthews, these will work for the bridge lock on the Matthews. Like I said, I really like how Prime and Hoyt and PSE and a lot of these other companies are using a Picatinny mount. To me, that just makes the most sense. And but this has been a great sight. I really like it. I've got a tight spot, 5-arrow quiver. I don't have it on the bow. But love the tight spots. I like how I can adjust it to the angle up and down as well, and then fit it in as tight against the bow as I can possibly get it. And then I'm using an AAE Hot Rods wrist sling. I like the wrist sling. Just gives me peace of mind that I know when I'm shooting that that bow's not going anywhere. I've caught myself too many times on video at the shot wanting to grab that riser and torque that riser. So going with the wrist sling, I know it's a little bit extra, but for me, it really helps. So my strings, again, I'm running electric strings from Kansas Archery Center, and I've had these on here since I started. I did not shoot at all with the stock strings, although I've got a couple guys that are shooting the Elites, and they're running the stock strings, and they have not had any issues at all. They look brand new. These strings here have several thousand shots, and they look brand new. Peep, I haven't had any peep rotation, haven't had any issues at all. So really loving everything that I've got going on here. The strings have been great. So Jim does a great job. And I am using the smooth mods. Okay. The ethos comes with the performance mods. I'm using the smooth mods, and I did a lot of shooting through the chronograph, shooting different arrow weights, and trying to get things figured out what's going to be the best for me, because I'm 28-inch draw. I'm 27 3/4 set up on this module because they run just a little bit long. So I'm running this at 27 3/4, and I have the let off set. It's probably 85%. I don't like a big dump into the valley, but I also don't like it to be too jumpy. So I kind of find that happy medium in between. But what I found was there was about 4 feet per second difference with my setup and my arrow between the performance module and the smooth module. And for me, I really like the smoothness of that draw. I'd rather have a smooth draw when maybe I'm deer hunting and it's cold and I've been sitting there for a couple hours. I'd rather be able to have a smooth draw than have 4 extra feet per second, if I can get that out, then have a little bit more of a dump at the back end, a little bit stiffer draw cycle. So I decided to just go with the smooth mods on this, and it's been great. The arrow I'm shooting, speaking of arrow, same arrow I've shot the last couple of years. This is a gold tip black label Quantum 340. I've got a 5-inch wrap. This is just a homemade wrap, and then 3 fletch of AAE Max Stealth using AAE IP Nox. I will probably be shooting a lighted knock, a Luminoc on this for hunting. So once I get closer to season and start shooting broadheads, I will put my lighted knock on here so I can make sure I get everything tuned how it should be. And then 125 grains up front. And my broadhead that I'm going to stick with, I've used last 2 seasons, is this Magnus Snuffer SS. 3-blade, stainless steel. I like the angle on it. It's not super steep, so it penetrates really well. And, I've got plenty of energy. I'm still, people talk all the time. They need 80 pounds. They need 75 pounds. Maybe they're shooting 31, 32-inch draw length. And that's all great. If you can do that, that's awesome. But personally, that's not me. I'm 60 pounds. I'm 28-inch draw length. So I don't get a lot of speed. This arrow is weighing about 420 grains. And with this setup, I'm about 265 feet per second, which is plenty fast. And I've been pretty happy with that. That's really been, arrow flight is good, tunes really well, and been plenty fast. So 420 grain arrow, that's with 125 grain point or 125 grain Magnus Snuffer SS. I've been shooting Magnus broadheads for a long time, over 20 years. I shot the Stinger 4 blades. I've killed a lot of deer with those, and they've been a great head. Nothing wrong with them. I just wanted to switch things up, and I wanted to try a 3-blade because I like the idea of a 3-blade and creating a hole that's not going to close up so easily. And I've had great luck with this. I've killed deer in 2022 and also in 2023 with these, and about 60 yards is about as far as they went. Had complete pass-throughs, the arrow going 10 yards past both times. So no issues there at all. These do require some sharpening. So, and it even says that on the package. Magnus will tell you that. I spent a lot of time with a sharpening kit, and I can't remember the name of it. I've seen them on John Lusk's videos. It's a sandpaper with kind of a curved edge. And I'll just sit there at night and I'll watch TV and I'll just work this back and forth. And I'll take a black Sharpie and put some marks on there and just work it back and forth and work it till I have a really fine edge. I'll strop it on leather. They've got a polishing compound that you can use. And it gets it super sharp and puts a really nice edge on this. So make sure you get them super sharp. They do a great job. Out of the package, they need a little bit of work, but it's a great head. I've got a lot of other options in the store. I've got for a 3-blade, I've got the Q80 Exodus. I've got some mechanicals coming, some G5 dead meats coming that's been really popular, but no reason. I mean, I have no problems with this. They fly great for me, and I know it's going to cut and do its job, so that's what I'm sticking with. But so this is my setup for 2024. I still need to work on a sight tape, and I'm probably going to use Precision Cut Archery for that to get that set up how I want it. But been very happy. Like I said, this is just a boring bow. It does just what you want it to do. It doesn't give you any fits. It doesn't give you any tuning trouble. It doesn't cause any type of erratic flight or vibrations. The finish on it has been really good. I've been very impressed with the finish on these Elites, and it's held up very well. Like I said, I shoot this every day. I want to shoot it every day. That's what's fun about it is I get excited. A lot of times here in Kansas, the wind's blowing 40, 50 miles an hour, and it's tough to get out and shoot. So anytime that wind goes down, that's what I'm thinking. I want to get out and I want to shoot my Elite because it's so much fun. And I may not get to take it on an elk hunt this year, but it will definitely be chasing deer here in Kansas and just a few short months. Our season starts in September, so we're the middle of June now. We're 3 months away. It's a time to start looking at your equipment. Don't just leave your bow sitting in the closet or sitting in the safe or wherever you keep it. Make sure you get it out. Take it to your local pro shop and have them go through it. Make sure that the timing is set, everything is tuned and ready to go. If you need to replace your strings, do that now. Don't put that off. Um, Too many times I see people show up in October and they say, "Hey, I need new strings." And I say, "Well, it's going to be about 4 weeks." And they can't believe it. I said, "Well, it's a busy time of year for string builders as well. And if you put things off till then, you may not get your bow for that rut hunt or whatever you're wanting to do. So do those things now. Get your arrows built, get your broadheads picked out and tuned, because now is the time to start doing that. We're said 3 months away, 90 days away. We're less than that from the start of September. Some states will have archery hunts beginning in August 15th. So we're only 2 months away from some of those. I shot an antelope in Wyoming a couple of years back on August 16th. So if you have some of those hunts planned, or if you're going to hunt early in the season, make sure you get your bow in and get it set up and tuned. Now is a good time to do that, because shops are going to start getting busier and busier as we get closer and closer to season. So just wanted to share that. Been very happy with this bow. No issues at all. Everything is great, and it's been a pleasure to shoot. So this is one I'm probably going to hang on to for a while. That 3 extra inches in the axle to axle length does make a difference for me as far as just stability and accuracy and being able to hold. And I'll shoot this out to 100 yards just at targets and for practice. And the bow shoots way better than I can shoot, but it makes me a better archer for sure. So anyway, wanted to share that. Oh, last thing, release. I have not given up on the old Scott Verge. I've been shooting this for a couple of years. I absolutely love it. I've tried handhelds. I've got a handheld that I use here around the shop if I'm just shooting a bow for fun or just testing something out, or tuning a bow that I'm going to put on the shelf, something like that. I'll use that handheld release. But for hunting, even for some of the 3D that I've done, I did shoot this bow a little bit in 3D and shot it really well. But everything that I've done, this Scott Verge has been great. And so if you haven't and you're struggling with target panic, this is something that you should look into. Yes, it's a wrist strap. I know that's not the cool thing right now. Having a handheld, shooting a hinge or whatever is the cool thing, but this release has been great. This has the click sear, so I'm using 2 fingers. I'm using back tension, and I get to that click, and then my mind's okay. Now we're ready to go, and I just focus on the shot, and I'm pulling through, and it's been great. I've got a couple of videos on the channel about this, so if you're curious about that, go check it out. But Scott Verge has been my favorite release in a long time, and I'm going to stick with that. Very happy with that. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments or something down below. You can always contact me. My contact information is on the website, coyotecreekarchery.com. I do have an online store with all the products. I shouldn't say all. Most of the products that I have here in store are available to purchase online. You cannot purchase an Elite Ethos from me online. Any of these flagship bows you have to purchase in person through the dealer, which is a good thing. But all my accessories and arrows, all that can be purchased online through my store. So if you want to help me out, that'd be great. Go to coyotecreekarchery.com and make a purchase there. But anyway, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions or whatever about my setup, feel free to contact me. But folks, I hope you're having a great summer. Hope things are going well for you. Get out and shoot. Get to your pro shop. Make sure you get your bow checked out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.